It's never fun to wake up the morning after a loss feeling like something important slipped away, and that's exactly where we are after week 2. The Chiefs fell 20-17 in a Super Bowl rematch. And the headlines are loud. This wasn't one of those dominant, late-season Mams performances that we've come to expect. The final score matters, but what matters more for this conversation is how the offense looked trying to climb back into the game and how the pressure of expectations revealed some uncomfortable truths about the roster and the plan. The article I read called Patrick Mahomes the team's weakest link in that matchup, a blunt line that's worth unpacking honestly, because being a fan doesn't mean ignoring problems, it means wanting the team to fix them. Start with the box score snapshot. So we're all on the same page. Mahomes finished with a stat line that felt underwhelming for him. 16 completions on 29 attempts for 187 yards, with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. That interception was ugly in outcome but somewhat unlucky in circumstance. It bounced off Travis Kelce and into an Eagles defender, and it's fair to separate plays that were fluky from plays that were symptomatic of something bigger. Even so, the cumulative effect was obvious. It was not the vintage Mahomes carrying the offense day Arrowhead has been spoiled with for years. That sets the tone for the rest of this video. I want to look at what went wrong from the quarterback's perspective, but I also want to be careful not to throw Mahomes under the bus for the whole thing. This chapter is the reality check. When the offense stalls like that, you have to ask whether it's a man-on-the-field issue, timing, reads, decision-making, or if it's magnified by a lack of reliable options outside the numbers. Both matter. We'll walk through the specific moments that looked off, the plays where Mahomes missed a read or a timing window, and the instances where the receivers simply weren't getting separation or the play design didn't give him a clean chance. In short, was it Mahomes having an off day, or did a thin supporting cast make an off day feel catastrophic? Before we jump into the play-by-play, I want to hear from you right now in one sentence. Tell me in the comments whether you think this was a one-off for Mahomes or the start of a worrying trend. Also, help the channel hit our goal of 5,000 subscribers. If you like the breakdowns, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the follow-ups. Your support matters, and your single comment will shape how we attack chapters 2 and 3. If you're ready, I'll move into the specific plays that defined this game and why they mattered. Alright, now let's break down Mahomes' performance in week 2 and see exactly what went wrong. First, I want to be clear, Patrick Mahomes is not a quarterback who usually struggles to make plays. That's why this game jumped out. It wasn't just that the offense sputtered, it was that Mahomes, for the first time in a while, looked a step slower in his reads, misfired on timing, and didn't connect on some passes that normally seem automatic. Take, for example, the drive midway through the third quarter where the Chiefs were trying to climb back into the game. Mahomes had multiple targets in the red zone, but his timing on a quick slant to his tight end was off by fractions of a second. That split-second miss forced the ball to be thrown high, leading to incompletion, and a stalled drive. Plays like that might seem small individually, but they pile up and contribute to a feeling that the offense is out of rhythm. Then there's the interception that bounced off Travis Kelce's hands. Statistically, it counts against Mahomes, but context matters. He made the read correctly, delivered on target, and it just didn't connect. Even so, moments like this highlight how even minor execution errors can snowball when the supporting cast isn't able to adjust, and that's part of the story here. Mahomes had to do more than usual with fewer clean windows and slower separation from receivers. In some ways, that magnifies his mistakes, but it's still worth noting the missed opportunities, like the underthrown sideline pass in the second quarter that could have been a touchdown. These are the plays fans notice immediately because they swing momentum and affect confidence, both on the field and in the stands. The bigger picture here is that Mahomes' completion rate dipped, yardage was lower than expected, and the one touchdown wasn't enough to mask the feeling that the offense lacked punch. For a quarterback who is usually so dynamic, Every misstep is magnified by the high expectations we have for him. It's the type of game that forces both fans and analysts to ask tough questions. Is it an off day, or does it reveal systemic issues with the offense? Watching the tape, you can see both. There were tight windows, some questionable protection, and some routes that weren't quite sharp. But there were also clear moments where Mam's usual magic just didn't happen. That combination made him look like the team's weakest link, at least for this single outing. Now, I want to get you involved. Take a moment and comment below with the single play you would rewind if you were Mams. Also, vote in the poll. Do you think this is just a one-off bad game, or is it the start of a worrying trend? Your input will shape how we talk about the supporting cast and what the Chiefs might need to fix next. And don't forget, if you're enjoying this breakdown and want more analysis like this, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. It really helps us reach the 5,000 subscriber goal and keeps you in the loop for every Chiefs update. Now that we've broken down Mam's off day, it's time to zoom out and look at the supporting cast. Even the best quarterback in the league can't do it all alone, and Week 2 highlighted just how much the Chiefs rely on their weapons to perform at a high level. The receiving corps wasn't terrible, but it wasn't firing on all cylinders either. Separation was limited, timing routes weren't always crisp, and that left Mams having to thread needles that, on any other day, might have been simpler throws. When your top options struggle to create space, the quarterback feels pressure not just to make plays, but to overcompensate, and that's when mistakes happen. The article points out that this is exactly why the Chiefs might need more outside playmakers. Yes, Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy have shown flashes, but consistency and the ability to stretch the field are what matter most in high-stakes games. When defenders can bracket a few key receivers because there's no real threat on the outside, it compresses Mam's window to work his magic. That's what we saw against the Eagles. Defenders weren't hesitant to crowd the line and take away short passes, knowing the Chiefs' deep options weren't fully threatening. Offensive balance matters, and right now, the supporting cast may not be enough to give Mams the clean looks he needs week in and week out. It's not just about wide receivers either. Tight ends and running backs also need to contribute, and while Travis Kelce remains elite, he can't be the sole focus. Defenses adjust, and Mam's usually brilliant improvisational skills are only as effective as the options around him. Combine that with line pressures or slower separation, and you start to see why the offense struggled. This is why some fans and analysts, including the article one read, are suggesting that GM Brett Veach should consider adding more talent outside, either through free agency, trade, or even shaking up the depth chart. It's about giving Mams a real chance to thrive, not just relying on him to carry the team by sheer force of skill. So here's a question for you. Do you think the Chiefs should prioritize acquiring an outside wide receiver before the trade deadline? Yes or no? Drop your vote and comment if you have a specific target in mind. It's always fun to see the names fans throw out there. And if you're following along and want more insider-style analysis on what the Chiefs might do next, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss the next breakdown where we explore front office options and short-term fixes to make sure Mams isn't left overextended in games like this. Trust me, the conversation doesn't stop. Alright, now let's talk front office options and short-term fixes. Week 2's loss didn't just expose a single game's mistakes, it highlighted areas where the Chiefs can make tactical adjustments to support Mams better and keep this season on track. First, there are immediate, short-term fixes that can be applied in practice and in-game planning. Offensive coordinators could tweak route combinations, create quicker options for Mams, or design plays that better isolate Kelce or other reliable targets. Even small adjustments, like emphasizing quick throws against tight coverage or using motion to create favorable matchups, can turn a 50-50 play into a high-probability conversion. But we also have to consider roster management. The supporting cast isn't lacking talent entirely, but but there's a gap in explosive, reliable outside weapons. The article suggests that Brett Veach might need to explore free agent pickups, mid-season trades, or even creative use of younger receivers who have shown flashes but aren't yet consistent. This is a delicate balancing act. Trade assets for a proven player versus trusting Mams and hoping younger options step up. Each path carries risk. Trading draft capital could hurt the team's future, while not making a move might leave Mams overburdened in crucial matchups. Another consideration is scheme tweaks. The Chiefs have always thrived in a dynamic, improvisational system, but when Mams' timing is slightly off and windows are tight, even the best play designs need support. Adjusting protection schemes, incorporating more screen passes, or using motion to stretch defenses could give Mams better looks without overhauling the offense. It's about creating space for Mams to operate, not just asking him to overcome limitations week after week. Here's where I want you to engage. Do you think the Chiefs should trade draft capital for a proven wide receiver, or trust the young talent to develop? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments, and feel free to name a player you'd target if it were up to you. Also, if you want to follow a video focused purely on trade targets and front office strategy, smash that like button. Your support helps the channel hit our 5,000 subscriber goal and ensures these deep dives keep coming. Week 2 may have stung, but there are clear paths forward, and now it's about watching how the Chiefs respond both on the field and in the front office. As we close out this breakdown, let's focus on what fans should watch for in the coming weeks. Week 2 was a reality check, but it also gives us a roadmap for improvement. Keep an eye on Mams' reads under pressure, particularly in tight windows and red zone situations. Watch how the coaching staff adjusts, whether that's tweaks in play calling, protection schemes, or creative use of receivers like Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy. Every small adjustment can make a big difference, and this is where the resilience of the Chiefs' offense will be tested. It's also important to track the supporting cast. Who steps up to create separation? Who becomes a reliable target when Mams needs a quick outlet? These players will be crucial in relieving pressure and giving Mams a chance to perform at his usual elite level. Pay attention to red zone execution, timing on routes, and how the team handles third down situations. These are key indicators of whether the offense is bouncing back or still searching for rhythm. Finally, let's wrap this up on a constructive note. Week 2 wasn't ideal, but it doesn't define the season. Mams is still the engine, and the team has paths forward with both tactical adjustments and potential roster upgrades. As fans, our role is to stay engaged, share insights, and hold the team accountable without losing faith in the process. Before we go, I want to hear from you. Do you still trust Mams to lead the Chiefs to the playoffs this season? Yes or no? Drop your vote and leave a one-sentence comment with encouragement or critique. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and smash that like button. Your support helps us reach 5,000 subscribers and keeps these detailed Chiefs updates coming. Stay tuned because there's more analysis on the horizon, and together, we'll track how this team responds to challenges and pushes toward success.